don't look at numbers, look at excellence. Because everyone else understands what excellence is and is drawn to that.
Welcome to Hustleshare, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Bae-Pyong.
Welcome to episode 10 of the Hustleshare podcast. My name is Ronster and I am your host. If you're new to Hustleshare, first of all, welcome. I'm glad you're tuning in and thank you for spending your time with us. If you don't know what this is, basically this is a podcast that lets you improve your hustle by listening to other hustlers. That sounds cliche and redundant, I know, but I think you know what I mean here. Now, if it's your first time to listen to this podcast and you have not been warned, this podcast is very NSFW, or not safe for work, because we keep it real around here. So if you're not comfortable hearing around cuss words or swear words, you may now turn off this podcast. But if you do, and you like to keep it real, then let's proceed. Okay, so for this podcast, or for this episode, on episode 10, we have a very special guest. And his name is Paolo Hilaro, and he is the CEO of the Laybare Waxing Salon chain. I'm pretty sure you've heard of them, you've seen them everywhere. But this episode, we're going to be talking about their humble beginnings, how he started out his journey as an entrepreneur, and how he was able to put up their first branch and the struggles he had to go through just to make that happen. And also, we're going to be talking about how they were able to scale. And now they have over 100 plus branches, and they serve hundreds and thousands of customers nationwide, and what their plans are in the next couple of years by scaling this. But more than that, this is called Hustleshare, and we're going to be talking about more about just his story, because what we want to know is also how he actually looks for partners. What type of franchise, what type of characteristics do they look for in a franchisee, and his tips on how to start a business of your own and how you can cope with stress and many more. So if you're down with that and you want to learn and you want to improve your hustle, this episode is for you, because we're going to begin this episode right now. Welcome to the 10th episode. We are now at episode 10. Yay!
Cheers, mate.
Yay! Thank you. So, episode 10. Unfortunately, we cannot do more girls at the moment, but we'll be guesting someone who benefits a lot of girls,
Nice.
right? There you go. So, I'm very excited because this is the first time. I mean, we've been talking a lot,
Right.
but every time I talk to you, it doesn't feel like I'm like even doing business. I mean, that's a good thing, because we just jive in and admire what you've done here. And for the first time ever, we'll be talking to Mr. Paolo Hilaro of Laybare.
Hello, everyone.
What up, pal? Welcome to Hustleshare.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay, as we're recording this, we're literally at your office, Friday night and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you'll hear this very soon and whatnot. So, pal, first of all, I've always wondered, why the hell does a dude own a waxing enterprise or empire, right? But before that, let's describe first, pal. What's your hustle?
Well, that's a funny comment. I think the first how I'd answer that is keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
What my hustle is, I run a chain of waxing salons.
Yep.
It's called Laybare. We have over 120 locations nationwide. in
Oh
the
my
Philippines.
God, you already have 120.
Yes, sir.
Shit.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I recently bought a house somewhere in Cavite.
Right.
Every mall that I go to near that place has a Laybare.
Yeah. And that's how we want it to be. We want to be accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
And it started as sort of a mission of my sister.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not into hair removal so
Okay.
much before.
I
I am now though.
Okay, I thought you were like born with a chane.
Hair beware.
You're like, boom. If I was here, I'd be fucking scared as shit. Like, oh no, Paolo's here. That guy who's gonna fucking kill us.
No, but there's a story behind that.
Okay.
I remember my sister telling me a story about when she was younger. She used to get teased about having unwanted hair.
Unwanted hair.
Yeah, so that'd be hair on your legs, your arms, your face, maybe.
Face.
Of course, some females do have that. You know,
Like mustache or like in a random place in
peach fuzz.
Okay, I thought it was like the cheek. Like, why do you have a lump of...
Not that extreme, but the thing is, you know, people get affected by that. So when she got a little older, she wanted to have options, right?
Got it.
And she got into hair removal, and it sort of unwrapped inner confidence in her. And
True.
you know, it was so powerful for her. She said, you know what? She was going to this place, and people weren't really focusing on it at that time.
Okay.
It was 2006, so not a lot of Filipinos were into hair removal at that time.
Yeah, we just like shave it or
There you
chan
go.
it again. Chan
leave
is
it,
like,
or leave
or leave it. Like, bro.
But we've always believed in, you know, the hygiene side and the benefit side of natural hair removal. And so she tells me and another sister of mine, of ours, sorry, let's do this. Let's create the salon where everyone gets to go, and we're going to be experts at it.
How young were you when this happened?
That was 13 years ago. And I won't tell you my age
Okay,
right now.
let's just like guess. Like, okay.
Yeah, about 21. I'm just kidding.
Holy shit. And I'd be like, what the?
No, 24, my friend.
24. Okay,
Yeah.
but you're prior to that, what were you doing?
Okay, so I have a funny background. I got married before I was 21.
Okay.
And I got married before I even graduated college.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. All right.
interesting
Cool.
story. And it was a time when, you know, you have a girlfriend, you do something happens.
Yep.
You know, your father-in-law asks you, you better marry my daughter.
Yeah,
That's
like,
sort of-
I'm gonna kill you like hair. I'm gonna pluck you out.
It's a different time in day to day.
All right.
But back then, that was the thing. But, you know, the funny thing about that situation was it taught me to be very responsible at an early age.
Of course, yes.
So
Gotta live up to it.
there you go.
Be a
And-
man up.
Man
That's what
up.
it is. Right.
So before graduating, I got my first job.
Okay.
I was working for a call center.
Dude,
I was.
that's my first job too.
There you go.
Are you what type of thing were you doing back
It was
then?
outbound, and I was
Telemarketer?
Telemarketer.
Bruh, I'm like that too. And that's why I have this shit. This is self-taught. I do
Really?
not sound like this in a normal day.
Perfect.
I sound like I'm a barker outside, right?
It's the training, man.
Yes, and they trained me. It's just like, you know what, fuck it. I told myself like, yo,
Yeah.
I gotta give myself an edge, because if I sound like my normal self, nobody's gonna take me seriously.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And, that was the thing. So it wasn't too hot at that time, 2002. So not too many call centers
so
at that
this
time.
was just literally the cusp of like
Yeah.
when they just started out, and they rolled out, and BPOs were
Correct.
very new.
Right. So I had that job. I graduated. I couldn't keep up because I'm not a night person. Per
Oh
se.
shit!
I'm not.
Okay, I am a night person.
I know you are.
There you go. My eye bags say it, right? I have 3 bags here. They all have names. I'm not going to reveal them. They're probably in a different episode.
That's funny shit, man. No, but the thing is, so I got married. I got that job, and I wanted to get a more stable job, and my background is in finance.
Finance.
So
that's something I hate to my very core.
Numbers,
I'm just kidding.
you're not
I don't
numbers
like
guy.
numbers. When Pythagoras was born, I was like, holy fuck! Why did you get this guy out? Like, I hate him.
It's not that I'm good at it, but it was fairly easy to learn, I guess.
Okay.
And so I got a job in a bank.
A
And it took
bank.
5 interviews for me to get in. Imagine
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Like
Perseverance
5
is-
rejections or 5 got like a gamut or a whole thing of interviews.
I would guess 5 rejections because those were 5 different departments that interviewed me.
Wow.
Yeah,
So the
so-
grit was there, and
And
again, the biggest factor, I guess. Sorry, it's
No
you
worries.
gotta put up.
There you
have
go.
a family to feed now.
And that was
Right.
it. And that was it. I think you look at your situation and you make the most out of it.
Sure.
You know, if it's not going to work out one way, you try another way.
True.
And, you know, while I was having that job, obviously I was barely making enough, barely
Yep.
above minimum wage.
Wow.
And I needed to find a side hustle. So
Okay,
perfect
so
for
this
your
is
show.
side hustle,
There you
Paolo's
go.
side hustle. Alright.
So my wife is from the province, and we were
Okay.
staying with her folks at that time.
Okay.
And they used to operate a small store in a palenque market,
Okay.
wet market.
Okay.
So they said, okay, you can have one small slot,
Okay.
With our savings from our wedding of about 20,000 pesos, we put up a plastic bag shop.
Plastic bag shop.
Right.
Okay.
So on weekdays, I'll be working in the bank, wearing my nice barong.
Right.
On weekends, I'll be wearing my sando.
I thought you were wearing plastic.
I could be at this.
Like, wait. Now we're saying too much. I hope it wasn't transparent.
But that was the deal back then,
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you can make do. So that was an opportunity that presented itself.
Make ends meet, right?
I had to grab it, and we made a fairly good sum at that time.
Nice.
And it allowed us to expand our business reach at that time. So we expand from plastic bags to bakery goods.
Shit.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Wow.
It was a lot of work though, so we had to sell off, and I still maintain my side job, and and we did barongs for men.
Wow.
We did distribution of Colt 45.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Shout out to Colt 45 if you want to sponsor this shit. Paolo wants to do a side.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I like that beer. It has a kick to it.
It has.
It's like a good alternative to Red Horse.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then the last one was we put up a computer shop.
Oh.
That was when we were staying there.
So look at all these, again, entrepreneurship.
Right.
You can't really just define that as like, oh, I just want to do this. So again, the biggest factor was you had to make ends meet.
You have to understand.
And you have to, you put up all these things, and they all vary.
Correct.
But among all those businesses early on that you put up, what were the main like common denominators that you did to make that work? I mean, there's always learnings from each one, right?
Sure.
What were those things? I mean, your background in finance probably helped you manage cash flow well,
Right.
Because that's one of the biggest things with first-time entrepreneurs.
Right.
They treat that as their own personal money, and that's where they fuck up a lot. You know, like, shit, I did that myself. Like, oh, okay, I thought my main money is also the business money. And that's where things happen. For you, pal, what were those key learnings that helped you traverse through all those businesses early on?
Right. I will say that I guess it depends on how you treat your own money.
Okay.
I've always felt that you treat yourself as your own business.
Got it.
So if you're prudent with yourself, you're prudent with your business, that sort of thing. So it wasn't a problem for myself.
Okay.
But, the key for me at that time was understanding that there has to be a better way in terms of progressing how we were living our family lives. And that means being sensitive to whatever sort of opportunities that are coming your way.
Yeah.
So I wasn't into barongs.
Okay.
But I saw the demand. I looked at the numbers. It made sense. I said, okay, if I'm able to meet the demand from with the supply that we have, then boom, it's gonna work.
Do you
out.
do like a proper feasibility study first, or you just look at the normal economics of it and whatnot? Like, all right, demand is this, I can forecast that, and then I can meet that with this, and then we'll see how much it will scale.
Well, entrepreneurs that are starting up normally go with gut feel, man.
Yeah, intuition.
Right. And yeah, I guess some of that also goes back to my background with finance.
Sure.
If it cuts out, if it makes sense, you don't have to go through the rigorous process of really understanding where it's gonna go. But your gut sense and your basic knowledge of finance should see you through that.
That is awesome. Now, okay, fast forward now, you've been doing this. How did that transition to your sister having some hair problems?
Right.
It's like, hey, I got hair problems. I need your expertise. No, I'm sorry. I was just joking. But sorry, if your sister's... just kidding. Sister Hilario. But how did that now come into thing? Because were you running other businesses when she told you this?
Right. So here's the funny thing. At that time, when we started Laybare, I was splitting time between Bulacan and Metro Manila.
Whoa!
I wouldn't go home every day because the commute was terrible. It was a 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, this is pre
NLEX actually at that time. So I would stay with her, and she was actually a career woman.
Okay.
She's been working, I think at that time, for 15 years already.
Wow.
She's an HR practitioner. And my other sister so both of them never had any business to begin with.
Wow. Holy shit.
This is their first business.
And look at, again, holy shit. That's crazy. To see Laybare as it is now. Like, every mall I go to, Pao is there again. I always say that. Sup, pal? Ask my girlfriend, like, oh shit, I know the guy who owns this shit. It's Pao, right? Yeah, I like in Cavite, Villa, you have one there. Like
right.
That's big.
But it didn't happen overnight.
I know, and that's what we want to talk about in this one. So, walk me through that. She's a career woman, 15 years in HR with your other sister, and you can barely make it home in Bulacan.
Yeah.
What was the eureka moment? Like, all right, let's go.
So she asked me to join her in a business meeting with this. She used to go to this place, right?
Okay.
And she goes, let's talk to the person running that place. Maybe we could find out more about how she's doing it. And then maybe we could start our own. So we talked to that lady and she goes, yeah, you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from. I can teach you everything and you're going to make a ton of money doing this.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Watch out here.
Watch out.
Fuck you guys. You're going to be fucked by Pao and the... All right.
And the thing is, obviously we didn't have a lot of capital. Even though, we had... I had my side hustle, businesses, all that. There were ups and downs.
Cool.
When we were doing our initial numbers, I think it came out about $200,000, the first branch.
Wow.
And we had to chip in around 50,000 and had to loan the balance of 50,000 amongst the three of us.
Of course. Right.
And
really bootstrap. Plus a little bit of a loan.
Yeah. Correct. And so the first moment when we opened it, I remember this vividly. We were so happy that we were able to get through it. And then reality hits.
Boom.
Because no one comes through the door.
Correct, because nobody understands it.
Exactly.
Yet.
So we were like, okay, we thought the first battle was already done because we're open, finally.
Yeah.
And then, shit,
like,
you have
where
to
your
pay
hair at,
money.
motherfuckers? Let me get your hair out.
But when the bills start coming in, and then we weren't making enough, and we're losing. And
where was the first location? Because maybe that was a big catalyst too. Where was the first Laybare was ever made?
It's in a sort of commercial building, that sort of commercial and residential building in Palanan, Makati. Close to Cash and Carry. I wouldn't say it was a hit. No. We had to relocate it after some years.
Sure, yeah, because that's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Right? It's sort of a hoodie place.
Yeah.
That's where the Be Nice get their votes and whatnot. But it's not the upscale CBD area.
It's not. And so we had to sort of convince a lot of people to try us out at that time.
Sure.
And we weren't seeing a lot of people through the door. And there were a lot of questions being asked, like, did we do the right feasibility study? Is the market ready for just purely hair removal? Should we add nails into the menu?
Nail removal?
No.
It's like, ow, that's
no, because at that time, you would only come across nail salons.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. So, and you know what? My sister, she's a single mom.
Sure. I was raised by a single mom. Shout out to all the single women.
Praises. Yeah. And she was an undergrad. She was doing night school, and she was working. And she's like, amongst the three of us, somebody has to drop their day job and focus on this thing.
Take control.
Take control. And I have to tip my hat off to her because she was the one who said, if this is gonna go anywhere, somebody has to sacrifice now.
Sure. Yeah.
So she took the first bullet for us.
She took one for the team.
Yep. Being the single mom.
Right.
And I was like, holy shit, this is it, man.
Okay.
There's no turning back here.
Yeah.
And
all in. Right?
All in. And even after that point, it was 6 months until we were able to break even.
But 6 months is pretty fast, pal. Like,
some
people fucking go through hell and out for years.
Right,
to
that's
try
true.
To break even.
That's true.
What was the secret? I mean, of course, we're not going to share the whole fucking secret because your competitors might hear it. But I'm just saying is, what were those things that helped you break even from having a struggle early to now having a formula that works? Because you said nobody really knew, or probably wasn't even comfortable getting their hair down removed, right?
Yeah.
What were those things? Because I'm pretty sure there's an evangelization point. Similar to like how we were doing chatbots up front early. Like nobody understood.
Right.
Like what the fuck is a chatbot? A chat box? Oh, a chat box is the one in the Facebook.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. So it took a while, and then it's all also timing. What were those things for you guys?
Well, it was a lot of it was a lot of educating in the beginning because a lot of people didn't understand the benefit side of it.
Sure.
People thought that you had to do it not for hygiene, but for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah.
And when people try the service out, because we use a different technique than what was popular before. So I guess one of the key things that really propelled us was really understand your competitive advantages.
Sure.
What's not out there and what you're offering.
Yes.
And make sure you drive that message hard.
Okay.
And once you do, you know, and we were so confident at it, we would just have people try it out.
Yeah, do it.
Because the beauty with hair, man, you know, if they try it out, it grows back.
Really?
Well, not for you. No, just kidding.
No, I cut it out. I get a haircut once a year, but
once a year.
I mean, once a year, once a month, once a year. God damn it, I would have a pro by then. For you guys, yeah, of course, it's a repetitive thing, right? It's not a one-time thing.
Right. And then the business model allows you. It's so lean and it's so simple.
Sure.
That it allows you to sort of invest in trial because you know the returns.
It's gonna
multiply
ROI eventually, right? That's amazing. But Paolo, let's take a quick break. So now you've turned the corner, 6 months in ROI. That's amazing, dude. But let's
not
talk
ROI
about
break even, my friend.
Break even. All right, but break even. From break even, let's talk about the next milestone and how you took on the. Now it's your turn to take one for the team. Yeah. Right? And how you got into that. More of that after the break. Hey, do you guys like what you're hearing so far? If you do, please don't forget to show us some love and subscribe to Hustleshare on your favorite podcast app. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all the other major podcast apps. Also, if you want to get in touch with us and suggest the next hustlers you want to hear in the show, please do message us on our chatbot on Messenger. Just search Hustleshare or go to m.me/Hustleshare, powered by ChatbotPH. And lastly, if you want to know more about the details and resources we discussed during each episode, please go to our show notes at hustleshare.com. Cool? All right, back to the show.
All right.
Welcome back to Hustleshare. We're still with Paolo Hilaro of Laybare.
Hello there.
How are you doing, pal?
I'm settling in.
Selling in. Okay, that's pretty good. But you're doing pretty good.
Thank you.
That first part went pretty smoothly. Now, anyway, pal, prior to the break, you mentioned that 6 months you got to break even, right? And now, what was the next step? I'm pretty sure there was a spike, but here's what people don't understand. It's not linear. Success is never a straight fucking line. It's a zigzag. It's like a Richter scale. Right?
Yes.
You go up and then down, up, down, and then you just start to get used to it.
Right.
The thing with business is that through the ups and the downs, eventually as you do it, you just become even keeled. You can't. When you get high, you get too high.
True.
When you get low, you don't get too low.
Correct.
Right. Pal, walk us through what the next step was for Laybare, from breaking even to what the next steps were, and then all the way through probably how you took the wheel, like Jesus. You're Jesus, bro. So took the wheel along with all your hair.
Right. So we understood early on that we have to really identify who our clients really were.
Yep.
So, in a typical salon, you wouldn't really take note of client records, but we were early adopters in analyzing customer behavior. Data. Okay. And we were looking at our data, and we would normally ask where the people were from. So we didn't see a lot of people, but we saw a lot of people from everywhere. I remember we used to see people from Parañaque, from Laguna, who went to our shop. And because we did a lot of manual PR back then.
Sure.
My sister would seed editors, and we would be printed in lifestyles for free.
And so that's for free, and you got their hair out. Hey, come here. I know how much hair you have down there.
Try us out.
So the editors are like, okay, I'm happy. I'm clean like a baby down there.
So the thinking behind that was, okay, we have a very dispersed sort of crowd here. How do we get closer to them? And then by having enough, I guess, presence, we'll be able to convert that into some sort of momentum.
Got it.
So that's the reason behind opening a second branch in Quezon City.
Where
Because
in QC? I'm from QC.
it's in Scout Fuentebella.
No fucking way.
Yeah, you're from there?
I'm from Kamuning.
Oh, there.
Oh, now everybody knows where I fucking live. So,
Yeah.
No, but that's my hood. I grew up there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we wanted to be on the opposite side of the metro.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we cover enough ground.
Okay.
And things weren't moving as fast as we wanted to, but we've gotten a lot of interest from our own customers.
And the beauty about that place
Yes.
is it's near ABS-CBN.
There you go,
And
and
GMA.
GMA. There.
So now you're also getting the hairs of all the celebrities.
And we used to get a lot of celebrities.
Oh, they're king. This one has kinky. No, I'm just kidding.
But that was still the game plan, and we were blessed that a lot of our customers enjoyed what we were getting out of us, and they were forcing us or convincing us to franchise the business out. That was the point. That was the key, because we didn't have enough capital.
Scale it on your own.
Correct. We didn't want to sell the business.
True.
So the easiest way is to get into fixed-term licensing agreements. And allow people, franchise, it's licensed, right? And people who believe in what you're doing to propagate it for you.
That is amazing. Because you already have that formula.
Correct.
Right? Now you know how to train people that you don't use your hands when you pull the hair out. You use wax or wherever.
And I remember there was a time where I think the ratio was between 6-1 or 7-1. So 6 franchisees compared to one of our own branch, because we didn't have enough capital to sort of expand our own network.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So how far in are you guys when people just just franchising at a moment and then boom, now it's just crazy from year say 1 to whatever. It's like crazy stuff, but scaling too fast can also be scary.
It is. So I wouldn't say we did it too fast. If there were any lessons in doing it that way, obviously we weren't so standardized, which is something that we're focusing on now, having 120 branches, where quality is going to be a primary concern and consistency. Right, But back then it was more like we had avid fans, and they were the ones who really want to sort of profess Laybare to their network. So not only are we allowing ourselves to get bigger, but we're allowing ourselves to tap networks of different individuals at the same time.
And you're still investing heavily on HR too. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a skill.
It is.
Right?
It is, yeah.
It depends on how delicate the hand of the person is. And that's what it is. Just like in massage.
Correct.
In massage, people dude, I said hard. You look like you're stroking my back, right? What the fuck? Right? Or some people just pull it out. So it's called a hiyang, right? Whoever you're hiyang, right?
Yes. So the main focus that we had to do was when we started franchising, we were concocting our own formulation of the wax already. So it was really focusing on the R&D of that side, and then making sure that the training is on par of where we want it to be. And that was the whole sort of key to making sure that we're able to replicate it across the Philippines, essentially.
That is amazing. So, and that's one thing I remember my girlfriend telling me that, what I love about Laybare is that they do their own products.
Yes.
They don't just, get that from some random whatever and just do the service. You do the whole round from the product itself all the way to the execution.
Correct, yeah. And that's the whole belief system of Laybare. We were promoting, advocating natural hair removal using natural products. Okay. So it's all food grade, it's all made by ourselves. We know there's nothing harmful within it. So it's so consistent with the brand positioning at the end of the day.
What were your challenges, Pao? And then how did you take the wheel?
Okay. So the challenges were just getting to a point where we want to be household. We want to be a household brand. We want hair removal to be synonymous with Laybare, which I think we're getting there.
Yeah, you are.
We're getting there.
Right.
And we want the lifestyles of people to change significantly because of inserting hair removal as part of their routine. True. So we're not there yet. I think we serve around 175,000 people a month.
Wow. What?
It's a number. It's a 6-figure number, but at the end of the day, we think we could do better.
But 175 hairless people. Man.
And happy partners at the same time, right?
Correct. That's great. But again, how did you become the guy? Your sister was running it for a while.
Yes.
How did you get involved as a mean?
All right. So the second move from the management standpoint was my other sister jumping on board, taking care of franchising. When I entered, I was the one who formalized the distribution network.
Okay.
And it was the point when I started that role and looking at new business opportunities for ourselves. So my sister was so caught up with running the branch and then franchising, we weren't looking at it from a very holistic standpoint.
It's all over the place.
And that's when I started selling the idea that we could be more than what we are today.
Sure.
And that sort of goes alongside why we had to work together in the first place.
Correct.
Where we could offer so much more and making sure that our customers experience the ultimate best from us.
Just a little caveat of how I met Pao. I mean, I told you my main hustle is I am the founder and CEO back then. I'm not, but sort of like that. But let's not put labels out there.
Right.
I'm still the guy basically who runs the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. Of Chatbot Philippines, and what we do is like we're one of the earliest, and I want to commend you for it because companies who have branches like this and franchisees are very skeptical to jump on board. Right. So I met Pao by trying to incorporate how chatbots can be used with Laybare, and just like how this conversation is going on now. That's probably the most natural, the most fun pitch I've ever done, and we just hit it out of the park. But Pao, okay, since now you're involved, did your sisters also divest? Like now, okay, Pao, you can do this on your own.
Yeah, they did. So I'm the majority now.
Okay.
Well, naturally, my eldest sister actually moved to the States where we operate a branch. So she's running her own.
So there's a Laybare there now.
There's a Laybare in LA. She's running that.
Okay.
I'm the one running the show here in the Philippines. And my whole play is we're so obsessed with customer experience.
Yeah.
And when you sold the message of why not make it more convenient for your customers to book.
Yeah.
You got me right there. Because we want to make sure that at every level, at every turn, we're able to provide something unique that focuses back on how we can make it easier for them to get their unwanted hair removed.
Yes. Well, I like my hair. I just like it trimmed.
I'm staring it down.
Yeah, dude, I like my hair up top. Don't kill it. All right? Because it scared me actually. Your tagline here that says, "When you see hair, it's time to labor." And I look at myself. I'm like, dude, I still have an inch of hair. Well, I'm not gonna remove that. I don't want to go full ball, but just kidding. But okay, Pao. From that point on. How did you go from now 120? How did you go that fast? Because it's not easy,
right?
And again, in tech startups, one of the main reasons why people fail or startups fail is they scale prematurely.
Correct.
Right? How do you control? If you are a franchisee, it's like, all right, pal.
Yeah.
I got some money.
Right.
I have a good location.
Right.
And how do you screen them out?
Well, obviously, we have to look at, we only franchise out to our customers.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have somebody there who can really represent the brand through experience.
An ambassador.
Here's the thing. The trick with expanding is that you shouldn't be caught up with expansion per se.
Sure.
What we were focusing on is making sure that we hit the right buttons in terms of making sure we operate within our loop perfectly.
Okay.
And once you operate there, people get to understand that you're really focused on that, and it naturally creates its own expansion plan from there.
It's organic.
It's organic. I could tell you,
it's organic.
And that's what Laybare is about. I can tell you a story about our first franchisee out of Metro Manila started in Cebu.
Oh.
And a lot of our Vismin clients went through that branch in Cebu.
No way. It's like, I'm from Cotabato and I need my hair fucking removed.
We have a lot of that. We have a lot of stories about people from Bohol would just cross to go to Laybare. Yeah, that sort of thing.
With the butanding.
and that's it. It's our focus on that small thing. And they came from their experience in Manila.
Okay.
So I always remember this saying, and I'm a big fan of this guy, Greg Glassman, who does CrossFit. He's the founder of CrossFit. He's like, don't look at numbers, look at excellence. Boom. Because everyone else understand what excellence is and is drawn to that.
Correct.
So if you just focus on what you're doing and do it the best you can, people will want to be part of it. And that's how we attract clients, through word of mouth. That's how we get customers, because we're so sincere about that.
Correct. And you genuinely just want to help them out, make their experience feel better. Now, Pal, let's take another quick break. When we come back, let's talk about tips that you want to be. You've been through the gamut. How long have you been running this now as a majority, technically?
About 7 years.
Holy shit, that's a long time. Yeah. That's a long time. That's an eternity in business.
Right.
Now, you're going to hear it from the man himself.
Right.
Who's the big head honcho of all your hair. If you don't have hair, it's probably him. You got to think of him. Right. But let's take a quick break, and when we go back, we'll talk about Pal's tips on entrepreneurship and life in general when we come back. More of that after the break.
Effective automation is the best way for businesses to stay competitive. And having a chatbot for your business lets you easily automate and optimize sales, marketing, and customer service in the digital age. Chatbot PH will build, train, maintain, and market your chatbot across all messaging platforms. Our team uses the latest AI technologies to enable you to better serve customers 24/7, 365. Set a meeting with us today. Message us now at m.me/chatbotph.
Welcome back to Hustleshare. We're now at the last part with Paolo Hilaro of Laybare.
Here.
All right, pal, let's go straight to the main thing, because lately you have gotten an award first. Let's talk about this, because you've been introduced, or you've been accepted to this very prestigious organization. It's called Endeavor Philippines.
Right.
And everybody, again, if you don't know what Endeavor is, how can you shed some light of what Endeavor is first?
Right. So Endeavor is a global nonprofit. It started operating in the Philippines maybe 4 years ago, and their whole mission is sort of paying it forward for entrepreneurs. So they look for next level entrepreneurs, help them scale up so that they could support the next level of entrepreneurs.
High impact. That's what they use, right?
High impact. Perfectly put. Yeah.
Correct. And what type of impact what goes higher than removing hair of people?
No, that their whole play is, they could connect you to all sorts of network, access to capital, access to talent, all that shit.
And it's not easy. You go through a rigorous process to get there. And I was so happy to see, like, holy shit, I know someone that I'm very comfortable with, and I go connect with. And you, so walk us through that process. How did Laybare and how does one Paolo Hilaro get into Manny Ayala's radar?
Sure.
And then get indicted. How's that process? I'd love to be there, but I'm pretty far out still. But how do you get to that, and how did that change your journey as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so actually, at that time, they approached us.
Wow.
I was away. And the reason why they approached us was they were looking at the retail space, and they wanted to see a brand that sort of has a definite following.
Yeah.
A cult-like following.
Brand,
yeah, that sort of thing. And they were like, okay, maybe this brand is doing something. Let me talk to this guy. Wow. And when I came back, I was talking to them, and I was like, we're not really doing anything different. Yeah. And that's when they were like, okay, we need to talk more.
Sure. Okay.
Right. And it was a rigorous process. There's a lot of mentoring, and there's a lot of coaching, and there's a lot of interviewing, and there's the last section of it is you're supposed to go overseas, an international selection panel, where a lot of international mentors will have to assess if you're qualified to be Endeavorized.
Yeah,
that's their term.
Exactly. It's like, dude, it's like going to Freemasonry in a certain level. Right?
Yeah. And what it allowed me to do is to really change my mindset and to think bigger and to think global.
Yes.
And it's refreshing to think that, before we were looking to just open our next shop, where in fact there's a bigger playing field out there.
Absolutely. It's just a small archipelago.
Yeah, and the secret behind it is you just have to put your heart into it.
True.
And make sure you use all the right tools. And that's something that I'm really thankful for.
And congratulations again, dude.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Right, that is amazing. Now, from that point, now let's talk about Business 101 with Paolo Hilaro on the Hustleshare motherfucking podcast. Aside from getting rid of hair, pal. Just kidding. No, but Pao, in terms of what would be your tip for someone who would be starting out with business? I mean, I ask this a lot with tech, and I kind of know the answer, but from a brick and mortar who's now franchising, we have 120, right? Plus branches.
Right.
What would be the key things for someone to start a business from scratch? And you've done the whole gamut.
Right.
I mean, aside from Laybare, I'm pretty sure you have other businesses, which we can talk about it now. But what would be your key ingredients now if you're putting up a business?
If I'm talking to someone who's looking into business, I will first tell them to really understand what they're trying to solve, what they're trying to address.
Okay.
And then once you understand that, you know how to sort of attract or insert yourself in that situation.
All right.
And then obviously, I don't think anyone is an island. You have to understand your strengths.
Sure.
And understand what type of people you need to look for in terms of you getting or achieving those goals.
And how do you maximize that? Because a lot of people actually get this advice, but they don't know, okay, I know this, but it's my tita and I'm shy and I don't not to talk to tita or some other random strangers. Actually, all you need is a referral.
Correct.
Yeah, so how does one maximize a network and open up more doors?
I mean, that's always going to be the challenge, right?
Right.
And the honest truth to that is you just have to keep on trying.
Yeah.
And people, I think about the journey, and I think it's it wasn't easy. I didn't think it was that challenging.
Right.
Because we always look forward to the next challenge.
True.
You know what I mean? I mean, you don't always get your way,
Nope.
but you don't see it as a failure. You see it as, okay, there's another option for you.
Sure.
And that's how that's how you keep an open mind. That's how you be sensitive to your surroundings.
Okay.
You just want to make sure that in each and every situation you're in, you make the most out of it. It's either you go through it or you learn something out of it.
You win or you learn.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Now, pal, just a few more questions before we wrap this baby up. From a personal point of view, how much have you changed in terms of how you manage stress? Because this is easy. It's easy to fucking talk about numbers and all that shit. But we all know that as you grow with the business, you also need to fucking find that zen somewhere. And you cope with things differently.
Yeah.
How were you when you were younger, and how do you fucking manage with this? Because there's always a fire out there.
That's a tough question, man.
Right.
That's something I've been trying to reflect on lately, and I would say that I've matured beyond my years.
Okay.
Because before, the goal was obviously you want to provide for your family.
True.
But now our network employs almost 900 people.
Mm-hmm.
And
900.
900 people through our franchisees. And and now you're a role model. People look up to you, whether you like it or not. And you have to understand to respect your position, that people look up to you, and you have to carry yourself in a different manner.
True.
It's stressful to a certain extent, but I appreciate that I'm able to provide something for others.
True.
Or I'm able to be a model for others to sort of gain some form of livelihood and inspiration out of.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a responsibility, and I'm trying to embrace it, trying to change myself, because back then I would say, damn it, I'm just gonna enjoy this shit, burn some money or do some crazy,
make it rain,
crazy thing. But after you get to a certain point, it's all about giving back, and I think it's a responsibility and a gift at the same time.
Sure. What are the key things when you're onboarding, like when a franchisee comes in, right? And for the lack of better terms, they gotta drink your Kool-Aid. Because if you don't drink your Kool-Aid, how the fuck are they gonna do it the Laybare way?
Right.
What are those things that you impart with those new franchisees? Of course, you said that they should be customers already.
Yeah.
But you gotta put more shit in there through the recipe. How do you make them go to this Laybare minimum standard?
Right.
That they go through.
Well, the first line I would tell them is we're not looking for business partners. We're looking for somebody who would help us evangelize the population, sort of.
Got it.
Because the whole idea is you believe in what we're trying to do and the benefit of that, and you understand that there's more people who can appreciate what we're trying to do for them. Okay. So I have to see that their commitment is what we're trying to offer, not what the business is going to be getting for them in return. You know, that sort of thing. So we're sort of crazy also about creating this sort of fun-loving culture that we're trying to build.
And I feel it. I love it here. You
Thanks,
know?
man. Thanks.
You know,
and that's the thing. You know, we're not business people.
Sure.
We're trying to create a movement here.
There you go.
And you know, and it's, if you're genuine that way, it's more natural for you to sort of connect with somebody else who is.
All right.
If you're too pretentious, then obviously
they'll feel it, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So it doesn't have to be so technical in those terms.
Okay. Now, I've never asked this with any type of this question with anyone in the podcast before, because your market is very cutthroat. You have a lot of competitors.
Sure.
Right? And y'all, one way or another, they're going to try to bring you down and whatnot.
Sure.
How do you cope with competitors? And how do you stay on top of your game?
Yeah.
We're not, without bad mouthing them and whatnot. Because let's call a spade a spade. This is everybody now. This is not alien through how it was 10 years ago.
Very true.
A lot of women will go through this. But how do you rise above that?
You know, that's an interesting story. I made a senior hire not too long ago.
Okay.
And that was one of the questions, like, how does competition impact us? And at the end of the day, my answer was, I'm aware of what they're doing.
Okay.
But it doesn't really matter what they're doing.
Sure.
It matters. What matters to us is our relationship with our customers.
Sure.
And how we can improve on that.
Okay.
Because we know at the end of the day, you know, our main most main driver for new clients is word of mouth. Because once you serve the people the way they want to be served, there's no way you can take that away from you or any competitor.
This is habit forming stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like, okay, I'm going to get it done and I'll think about it next month. No.
Yeah.
This is part of the routine, especially now with how sophisticated fashion is and grooming and hygiene is.
Yeah.
It's a totally different ballgame, but you're a big key to how that's being done.
And it's actually counterproductive to be caught up with what else someone else is doing, because there's really no control over that.
Yeah.
You know, it's important for you to understand what they're doing, but it shouldn't affect what you believe you should be doing.
No, and it's true, because I like how you approach that, because by default, right, in the education system and how we're brought up in the system, we're taught that, like, all right, you got to be better than your shit. You have to look look over your shoulder first all the time and look at how am I better than that. But in reality, we lose track of what's really at stake and what really matters, which is the customer experience.
There you go.
So that's very true in how you said that. Now, pal, let's talk about this new thing that we're going to be launching. I'm back here and I'm like, all right, we got this. It took a while, but now it's ready.
There you go.
Very soon.
Finally, yes.
There you go. Sorry, more hair, y'all dying.
Watch
Hide
out
now, right? You have an ingrown hair now. This is harder to take out. No, it's hard, dude. It's like ingrown hair. Oh my god, right? If you don't remember,
you gotta exfoliate.
No, it goes in. I don't even know how that even happens. It's fucking weird, right? So, pal, we're gonna be launching this chatbot for Laybare very soon. What would the chatbot do very soon when it's launched?
Well, we envision the chatbot to be sort of our AI 24/7 that sort of takes care of whatever the needs of the client may be. You know, we are thankful and we're blessed that we're popular, and it comes with a price. So there's a lot of inefficiencies where there's a lot of traffic that goes through you.
Correct.
And obviously, if you're dealing with people, that's going to be extra challenging, right?
Sure.
So we wanted to find a way where we could not sort of take away from the experience of exchanging with somebody.
Sure.
But make it a little bit more efficient so that everyone gets a more pleasant experience at the end of the day.
And with that bot, now that's possible, because now you don't need to have frontliners there who's asking, "Oh, are you open in whatever in Dasmariñas?"
In fact, I'm going to add that a significant number of our complaints is about the queue, it's about booking, it's about all those things that you can actually automate now. So thankful to Ron for sort of...
You're welcome. Let's launch this baby out. Let's change the whole ball game of what it is. And what I love about Laybare is totally different vertical of how we did it in Chatbot PH. Also,
Really?
it's like this is where our key unique things, and I'm excited because we've been working on this for a long time, and now it's finally gonna come out. So if people wants to do go check it out. What's your name on Facebook?
Laybare Waxing.
Okay, so it's m.me/Laybare Waxing. So just go check that out. Pretty sure that's gonna be up by this time, or if not, watch out for it soon because that baby's gonna take your hair out.
Yeah, and if it's not, it's on Ron. Okay, not on.
Okay.
Me.
I'm telling my team like, all right, you gotta work for 2 hours. It's
He's announced it already.
Yeah,
Cat out of the bag.
Yeah, the cat's like purring and ready to get it out. Now again, pal, invite over people that who want to, if they want to franchise a new Laybare salon and whatnot. How do they get in touch with you? How do they get that?
First thing I want to say is I want to thank everyone who's a fan of Laybare, who's tried Laybare, those who haven't gone back to Laybare. There's a lot of things we're doing differently. We've learned from our mistakes.
There you go.
Our commitment is to make sure that we're always progressing forward, never looking back. And there's a lot of obviously new clientele out there. Every single year, people mature, right?
Right.
So
soon enough, you'll be servicing cats and dogs. That's torture, but you'll never know.
If you want to learn more about what we do, you can find us at laybare.com. That's lay-bare.com.
Okay.
A lot of the fun stuff about where we are, what we offer is going to be there. If you want to partner up, hit us up. There's a inquire button on our franchisee.
There you go.
And you can learn more about that. And, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you.
There you go. Again, thank you, pal, for sharing your time and a lot of knowledge. Very refreshing to hear your story, and your hustle is amazing. Cheers, my man. And again, that's it for this episode of Hustleshare. We'll see you next time on the next episode. Peace.